Okay, so I promised you this video a long time ago. I am so sorry. I've been behind in everything. I'm also still working on updating your grades. But what I wanted to show you is if you are choosing for your final project to analyze your survey, I'm going to show you how I want you to do that, even though we went over it in class. So as a sample, I'm going to use this survey down here from some of my former students. They have 33 responses. Remember that I asked that you have at least 25 responses. So if you don't have that many, send your survey out again to your social media networks or email it to people and try to get them to answer it. Okay, so you're going to click on your survey. I'll just show you this one a little bit. Demographic questions, your gender, your classification, and then how frequently you listen to hip hop, hear curse words, imitate what the songs say. People who listen to these artists are more likely to do these things. Changes people's outlook about relationship, etc. Reasons why. Does it bother you to hear these certain words? Do you think that men curse more than women, etc.? Okay, so what you're going to do first to analyze the data is go to reports. The first thing that comes up is just going to be what we call frequencies. These are the raw numbers and percents for each question. So, your gender, so you can see that they had more females answered the survey than males. For classification, right? They had more seniors, but they also had a decent number of sophomores, juniors, and graduate students. There are the percents there. So, this is fine. This is kind of interesting. You can comment on this. What you can see here is that the people who took the survey very high in very often and often listen to hip hop, very high in very often and often hear curse words, but very high also in saying that they do not often or at all imitate what they hear in the songs. Anyway, so this is, this is for each. Strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree for these different things. So I guess the thing that they most strongly agree with is that people who listen to these artists might use drugs, although it's not, that's the highest there, but it's not that high. I mean, it's much higher for, well, that's agree. Often you can compress strongly agree and agree. Okay, but what I want to show you now is that's fine. You can, once you have this information, um, you can share the report, right? So you can transform it into a PDF document, a Word document. And that way you can, if you put it in a Word document, for example, you can cut and paste it into your final report. Okay, but I said I want you to go beyond frequencies and do a little bit higher level statistical analysis. And the way you're going to do that is by going to this Data and Analysis tab, and you're going to create something that's called crosstabs. Oh no, okay, there you go. So you can tell these students actually already did it. So we'll just take a look at, well, I'll show you how to do it. Basically, you go to create new cross tabulation, and you're choosing what you want to have in the row and the column, and you're going to cross these two things so that you get a little bit deeper analysis. Like, did the women think that that certain words bothered them more than the men? Let's do that one, in fact. So let's do what is your gender in the rows, and then it bothers me when I hear the following words, and see what, create cross tabulation, and they're going to ask you to name it, I think. Well, maybe you already had the opportunity to name it, but that one's, it's pretty clear what it's named. So in here also you can do data options, and you can see the row percents or the column percents. I think in this case we want the column percents. And then you can kind of, let's see, No, actually, I think we want the row percents. Let me switch that. Let me take that off. You just click on it, row percents. Yeah. So 100% of the females responding, but what did they think? So overall, it bothers me when they hear the word bitch. Was disagree, although it was pretty strong with agree and disagree. Again, you might want to kind of add these two numbers so that you and refer to it in the study as well, it would be 27 plus 15, so that's uh, about 43% strongly agreed or agreed that it bothered them when they heard that word. It's kind of interesting here, though. Look at this. So basically, what I want you to do is, analyze these numbers and see, what things and create. You go back to crosstabs. You can create another crosstab, right? And you can do this with each of your questions. You can do it with gender, and then you can do it with classification or whatever demographic questions you asked. Now, what I want to say is after we view all the crosstabs, then you can view them all, which I think is what it's. Let me just go back here, see if it lets me go back. So let's say once you have these, okay, what you can do is right up here, you can export it to Excel or export it to PDF. And so what I'm going to ask you to do, I know there were a couple groups where not everyone could see the survey. The collaborate button wasn't showing up. So, get in touch with the key person who wrote your survey, who has access to all of the data, and ask them to run this report or ask them to give you their login information and then like change their password or something in a day or two so that you can do it. So, if one person can make all the crosstabs and share them with everyone, that's fine. But anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I am looking forward to reading your reports.
Oops.
How do I stop it?